Today, I will be talking about my mini art exhibit number 1 by Ellie Moore. And hopefully you can't hear the rodeo too much in the background. It's a little bit loud from my window. But for my color for the presentation, I chose blue. I personally love the color blue, and it typically represents trustworthiness, calmness, relaxingness, and can sometimes also be somewhat of a depressing color. For my first piece, I chose The End of the Day by Frederic Remington, 1904. I was personally drawn to this piece because of the coldness and just the snow and how icy the horses and the person look in this. I really love the sunshine, so snow is not really what I feel like I'm built for. So I just could not imagine myself being the person in this picture. The blue in this piece is very faint, but it creates a very depressing mood, in my opinion, and it's very sad and just cold looking. The person and the horses look very, very cold and kind of miserable, in my opinion, because they don't look like they've been out there that long, yet they're both kind of coated in a layer of snow. The blue color didn't necessarily catch my eye as much, but the snow, like I mentioned before, on the back of the horses and the man, as well as the icicles hanging off of the house, really just portray that cold feeling. I also noticed the yellow in the cabin in the back and how it just feels so much cozier and comforting, and how I would much rather be in there, and I assume the man in the painting would be as well. This piece interested me because I could not imagine living in the snow. It just seems like such a hassle, and it is something that I have never had to deal with, luckily. And the next piece I picked was The Oldest Square Pateo do Collegio by Benedetto Calexo Saluco. And this painting spoke to me because the building reminded me of the San Juan Mission at home in Orange County. It wasn't the color of the sky that drew me to the piece, but more of the building. The blue sky is very calm in this piece, and it's very relaxing, so it didn't necessarily catch my eye so much. The Spanish style building reminded me of the Spanish style building that is the San Juan Mission at home. It looked like the San Juan Mission, and I learned about the California missions last quarter in LS 214 and about how horrible the California missions were and forced Native Americans into really poor living conditions, and how the California education system doesn't portray that necessarily in the best way. But I feel like this piece was very interesting to me because the calm blue sky was very contradictory to the feelings of that I felt looking at the mission, because that is a very horrible place. And the next piece I picked was Conceal, Don't Feel by Amelia Preston from 2016. This piece makes me think of women who struggle with eating disorders, being that I have had one myself and still sometimes have thoughts in that way every once in a while. I also have a lot of friends who have eating disorders, and I see how it consumes them. I felt that the blue light really captures the depressive feeling caused by eating disorders that almost envelops you and swallows you whole. The blue colors really being everywhere but her ribs make them a focal point and pop out and get the message across, in my opinion. The color really contributes to the gloomy mood that is set in this painting. The look on her face is very expressive and almost shocked, and to me, she seems to be hiding all of her feelings inside. Culturally, women are told that they need to be skinny to be beautiful, and even if they have an eating disorder and that's how they maintain their skinniness, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're healthy and that they're more beautiful in any sort of way. Another piece I chose was Beach with an Old Breakwater by Tristan Paul Hillier, 1977. The beach scene makes me miss home a lot and laughing at the beach with my friends and my family. The beach is one of my happiest places, and I have so many amazing memories there, and it's something I miss so much being a first year without a car. The shades of the blue of the beach make it look very cold and overcast, and I can almost feel the dampness on myself. The color makes the beach very calm and peaceful to me, however. It was solely about the color of the sky that made me choose this piece because I feel like the sand and all of that, while it's not as yellow and vibrant as normal, there are some beaches that have more of a white washed out sand look in that way. So the sky was really the main focal point of this piece. I've been to the beach on plenty of days like this, and it's just so peaceful sitting there. And I can almost picture my mom trying to wrap me up in a blanket and say that I'm going to catch a cold. And the last piece that I chose was Kirkstall Abbey by Moonlight Walter Megan, 1810-1899. And the house is very eerie and it reminds me of a haunted house in a Halloween movie. The green and blue moonlight illuminating the house and reflecting off the water are such focal points and really set the mood and the scene for this painting. While the house is a very old and rustic look, if the sky was not green and blue and portrayed in the way that it was, it would not have necessarily the same effect that it does. And it almost even reminds me of the Haunted Mansion, which is definitely not so haunted, but just the looks of it give me that vibe. And for my sources, I just use the Google Arts and Cultures link that we were provided. Thank you.